Oh, construction champions. It's your host, Ron Nussbaum, and we're here for another amazing episode of Construction Champions Podcast, where we're burning the house down twice a week, every Monday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You can find us right here, not just myself, but amazing guests. Because we know that's what you tune in for, and that's what Construction Champions Podcast is committed to bringing you. In this episode is just like all of them. We have another rock star here with us. It's going to help us simplify our construction businesses. Elena, it is fantastic to have you here today.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome. Why don't you take a minute and tell all the champions out there a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Alaina. Nice to meet everyone. I am living in Australia, so pretty far away from US, but it's a nice country. We've got a sun out and it's beautiful. And I am a founder and the CEO of a technology business. So just like you said, we make construction businesses simpler. How did I fall into it? It's not a sexy story or very exciting. I did stumble into it, into the construction industry. And to be honest, just like every other industry, every software is so complicated. And Ron, you yourself, I'm sure, hate going in and trying to do something and saying, oh my God, how the heck did I do it last time? I mean, I have sometimes that with our processes. And we realized that the way a lot of construction software works for projects and jobs and everything else is way too complicated for everyone. And why? It doesn't have to be. Life is doesn't have to be complicated. Why don't we make it simple so we get to enjoy more of freedom and things like that? So that's what we ended up doing several years ago. And a lot of our construction manufacturing clients love it because what we provide to them is simplicity and control.
Awesome. I love it. I love what you're doing. After some of our conversations we've already had, I've been looking forward to doing this episode. So I'm going to dive right in there and I'm going to ask the $1,000,000 question. And that is, what makes a construction champion? Hey, construction champions. It's your host, Ron Nussbaum here. And I want to talk to you about how you can automate all of your marketing. We've had so many people on here talk about getting the systems in place. Well, we have partnered with Build 12 and Construction Champions podcast. Les O'Hara, the founder, what really excites me is his 30 years in the industry. And now he's built a system to be able to nurture your leads and continue to utilize that. I personally use the system myself. Build 12 is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of value in there, and it's a way to start getting away from Angie's List and all of that kind of stuff and start actually creating your own leads every day and have a system for them. So go on our website, check out the show notes, go check out Build 12 and what it can do for the front end of your business today. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend going and meeting with Les and his son, Devin, and talking to him about what they built for their own business so the rest of the industry can take benefit from that. Here on Construction Champions, we're all about helping each other out. And what is better than contractors helping contractors? I say nothing. So let's go take this to the next level. Go check out Build 12. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Les or his son, Devin. We're here to help. We want to continue to grow the industry.
It surely is $1,000,000 question. So I've given it a lot of thought. I think, in my opinion, there are two forces at play. There are internal forces, and I'm not talking mindfulness, mind control and whatnot. I'm talking things you can control, which is your team, people support you, your job, your project, the site, materials, all of that. And then there are the external factors, which are first and most important and usually most frustrating is clients. So things you can't control, suppliers, material delays, and then you start to go bigger with economy, government, and so on. So those two forces, in my opinion, come to play to create a champion. And champion is not God or whatever, something foreseeing creature. It's a person, a character, person that is supported by those two forces, by knowledge and experience and ability to make those decisions. So it's a leader. I do have even a visual for that person. It is hilarious. It's a tall, very masculine man in a white t-shirt, which is clean. I don't know why it's clean. Clearly, this person is not doing any work. Wearing construction belt, standing in the Superman pose because he can solve everything. But that person is supported by their team, supported by everything they know, and able to foresee the risks that then helps them take that ship, that company, that project, and sail through the risks and the turmoils of all the external factors like clients complaining or risks of economy and so on. So there's quite a lot of, personal development stuff, but then there's a lot of other things that support you. And technology is one of them. And I think technology has made life so much easier for so many people that it empowers a lot of internal factors to be better.
I love it
because
I love how, because we are like in construction, a lot of times I say on here all the time is that like we're naturally fixers. We naturally want to be that Superman, somebody that can fix those problems. Like we wouldn't be in this industry if we didn't like to fix shit. But what we do lose sight of a lot of times is that support that you're talking about. That is really the foundation that allows us to be able to go do that, whether that's team or technology or whatever that looks like. There is a support element that you have to build.
Exactly. It's that infrastructure. And often, builders, when they come in from the start, and that's how many business owners happen, is they start one-man band, their contract grows, business grows. You have a team of 5, team of 10, but you're still operating as a one-man band, one person that just contracted. But you want to keep going. And I mean, I fall into that in my business, and I'm in technology. I want to fix and help. So I keep running and trying to fix things for people and help them. And my staff go, oh my God, we hate working on your contract because you just want to give everything to the people. You're the worst enemy. But that's what I see is a lot of the time, there's champions, which are often business owners or project managers or leaders in their company. They go out to go and help as much as they can, but they still do it on the same infrastructure or the same method, the same process as they did when they were just one. So their team has no idea what's going on in their head. Things are all over the place, working, out of the boot of the car or files that are stored in 1 or 3 places, and no one knows what's happening. Everyone's calling, going, hey, what's the next thing? Where's this? Where's that? So often we fall, our strength, our weaknesses as well, because double-edged sword, right? So we don't build our support network, or we don't teach our support network to help us continue growing. And then that's what happens. The next thing is a burnout and, depression and business collapse and financial collapse because, our projects are no longer profitable and we're working 60 hours a week. So it then starts to spiral, and no adrenaline can keep you up there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So how do we not do that? How do we not have everything fail and have financial collapse? We had like Superman, and now we're like financial collapse. It's the different, but a lot of people don't like use. It doesn't take a lot to go from one to the other, or from the vice versa. Either way, to go from financial collapse to being Superman, or going from Superman to financial collapse, it's not that far of a turn. Like it's something that I think people don't realize how quick it can happen either direction.
You're absolutely right. And I've seen many business owners and managers go through that. It only takes 2-3 months of bad cash flow bad projects, mistakes to go from, the Superman to financial collapse. The solution that I have always used is knowledge. I mean, gut feelings as well, but the knowledge. So you can't make a decision. Imagine driving in the dark. And I was thinking about it today. In Australia, we have, when you drive at dusk or nighttime, we have a ton of kangaroos that jump out on the road. And they're massive, 2 meters. I mean, 2 meters tall, super muscular. If you hit it, kangaroo most likely will survive, but your car will be right off. You guys have deers and elks, depending where you live.
Yeah.
But they say that the best thing to get the kangaroo off the road is if you're driving and you see the kangaroo standing in the middle of the road, is actually turn your headlights off and drive in the dark, so then it will go away. But can you imagine doing that? You're driving 100 kilometers an hour, pitch black, and you know there's this giant in front of you. So you're hoping when you turn them back on, it's gone. So driving your business or your projects with no visibility. I mean, you wouldn't drive a car in the middle of the night with no headlights. Why would you do that with your business? So I think because it's not a natural thing that comes to us, we think it's okay. And often we put our head in the sand because it's easier and it's less scary. But for me, what I've seen a lot of business owners avoid, but also gain with technology, which provides knowledge, is visibility. So if you have your finger on the pulse, even just slightly, to see, okay, we're looking at the projects, and my husband always tells me about it. He's in investment space and analytics and stuff. He's like, so what's the profit margin? More numbers to do. So if you have a finger on the pulse of the business, even just saying, okay, we have 10 projects and we estimated 100 hours per project, so we estimated, let's say, $100,000 revenue per each, but our staff is taking twice as long, you already see that you're eating into your profit. So the profit that you thought you're going to get is probably going to come out of your pocket. So you're actually going to be supporting those projects. So if you can have that foresight the knowledge, that would help you to at least pivot a little bit. But if you're doing this on paper or spreadsheets or whatnot, you generally won't be able to see that. And your staff are not there to tell you you're doing it, or this, the big iceberg is coming to crash your ship. It's your job. So we found the solution through technology, a simple solution through technology, which we use Monday.com we have a solution that built for construction and commercial building and residential building companies, where you can track that within the projects. The other one is you might have 10 staff, and this is probably the most common one as well, is you go, okay, start of the year or middle of the year, everyone is flat out, we're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. But then, for example, our industry, our country, we've got February, which is dead. February and March January, February, March are generally a really quiet period of time. So we know that. Everyone expects it. But sometimes it happens also I was talking to somebody and they said last year, February was dead. But usually it's busy because we do the school prep, because Australian school starts in February. So they said, well, it was unexpected. But that means that your staff will be sitting and twiddling thumbs while your business is not getting any revenue while you're paying lots of wages. So bums in the seat. But if you don't have that foresight and visibility or knowledge is power, regardless how much we like it or not. But if we don't have that, then how are you meant to steer your ship if you don't know where you're going?
Well, yeah, without knowledge, like you said, how do you steer the ship? How do you even know what's going on the ship? Like what's happening over here, what's happening over here. You don't even know if you don't have that knowledge. And I love that. I know one of the things we connected on was that you guys work with Monday.com, and like Monday.com fascinates me from the aspect that it's one of the fastest growing CRMs and pieces of software used in residential construction, and they weren't even designed for that. Like they literally just built a simple piece of software, and somewhere along the way,
somebody was like, we should use this in our construction business. And here we are now where you have a whole business around helping construction businesses implement Monday.com into their business. And to me, it's amazing and goes against a lot of the stuff I believe around software. Being that I come from the construction industry, build a software for the industry. And I think that's one of the only ways to build software for construction, because people that come from the industry understand it. And here we are, this huge conglomerate that built a CRM for corporations. But what they did was they stuck true to building something simple. And I think that's what matters the most.
Exactly. And I think if we all think about Facebook, even back in the day and now, the biggest I guess advantage they have is if you're scrolling, you're doing something and you go, oh, I want to do XYZ, I want to like something, a comment. Where you think the button should be, it's there because they've done so much testing to know how you would work. And I find that that's what Monday has done. And that's how we ended up in the industry. Is we started getting an influx of construction clients saying, hey, we started using Monday, can you help us make it better for our company? And we started to see that the software they used to use was too complex.
Yeah.
Whether that was for management or especially for field stuff. Imagine being on the construction site and having to click through 40 different windows. I mean, no one wants to do that. Everyone wants to do work. And we started to see the trend that what Monday can do is very simple and intuitive. Anyone can use it, and everyone, it's on mobile. You can do it on site. You can do it on iPad. You can do it in the car. And we started to see the trend that people want simple. People want simple and easy to use. No one wants to sit there, try to work out and look at the manuals how to do a step every week. So it just started to grow, and we ended up creating 3 different solutions, and they go from very simple one-man band or one person with a couple of people support up to very complicated with financial analysis, forecasting, all the morning starts and everything else, OH&S. So it can do so much, but it makes it simple. And it provides incredible amount of transparency that gives control to the business owner, to the champion, but also empowers and gives control to the team because they know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And they don't feel like you're throwing something at them without knowing how busy they are. It gives you full transparency on the financial forecasting as well as capacity. So you know that Alaina in 2 weeks is actually going to be twiddling her thumbs. So you can give her work, but this week actually you should take some off because she's scheduled for 70 hours of work.
I love it. And we have to go back to the boat analogy, because when you said about the different ways, so you have everything from the dinghy to the pontoon to the yacht. So no matter whatever kind of boat you're driving, you can figure out how to know what's going on that boat.
Exactly. That's self-explanatory. You know that the dinghy needs, if it doesn't have a motor, which is a button press, then you have 2 oars. So it's pretty easy to figure out how to row it. And I think that's what Monday has done. It's easy to figure out how to row the boat. It's very self-explanatory. And I mean, the results we've seen have been jaw-dropping. I heard this at one of the recent trainings that, we often do business the same way as we used to. We sell the same way we used to, meaning we don't actually go and get testimonials. So last couple of weeks, I've been chatting to clients to say, okay, well, what have you seen? Numbers, improvements. Holy cow, over 200% ROI. So if you spend, let's say, $3,000 or $5,000, you get it back within a couple of months, purely because you're not doing manual work, you're not spending time on phone calls. We've seen conversion rates jump by 30% within the first month, purely by having a system. And right now, I'm not sure how it is in the US. I know in Australia, the whole economy is a bit, shaky. So it's really hard to get. It's that time of the year. Yeah. It's hard to get new leads, so trying to get the most out of them is the best way to go. So the other clients said that they've saved 160 hours a year per staff member purely because they don't have to drive around with paper files. God, can you believe somebody's driving paper files to and from the site?
I absolutely can believe it. I hear some stories like that as well, and it absolutely blows my mind being in 2024, like where some of the construction industry is when it comes to technology. So just for clarity for everybody, so what you guys do is you help take a simple product like Monday and then implement the systems around it for their business. So they don't have to worry about how, like, I buy this software and it's like, what do I do now? Like, you guys help get them over that learning curve there, correct?
Absolutely. We have our simplest solutions. We have three out of the box solutions and or you can build a custom, which some people go for. And the out of the box solutions, the smallest one is completely DIY and it is easy to set up. There's lots of training and we also stand by to hold the hand if needed because sometimes it just gets too complicated. There's just too much and we all get overwhelmed. I'm one of those people. And the rest of the packages, we do come and help customize anything that needs to be. This is built on, hundreds of construction businesses globally, US and Australia. We're not really, we haven't seen that much demand in Europe, probably because of the difference in the time zones. But we do work with customizing that solution because every business is unique.
Yeah,
Some people have extra stuff to do certain things.
yeah, but one of the powerful things is by having somebody that does it. I forget who I was talking to, but we have experts on here all the time, and that's one of the things that fascinates me is like when you hire an expert that this is all they do, you're not just buying their ability to do that, you're also buying their industry knowledge. Like they have seen this implemented across the board, different ways, different places, different size companies. You're also getting privied insight into that's going to help you excel with doing this because that's the stuff you really can't buy, like that insight.
Exactly. And we love to tinker. I mean, this is how I ended up in technology. I was in financial planning and auditing beforehand, which is not very exciting. But we ended up in technology because my husband said, why don't you teach people how to work with technology? Because I love it. I love to tinker. And all my staff love to tinker themselves. And I mean, they're probably even bigger tinkerers than me. Not probably, they are bigger tinkerers than me. And they come up with most incredible solutions to problems that just makes everyone's life simple. So when clients come to us and they say, I have this problem, I have this pain, this is not working, we go, okay, let's sit down, put our heads together. What have we seen done before? Will that work? Do they like it? Can they afford it? And frankly, what's the utility? The biggest thing that we do is utility versus cost benefit and utility. So you can say we have customers that say, I want to click a button and the file will go somewhere, put it in the Dropbox, OneDrive. We say, well, that's going to cost you a lot of money because that's a complex setup. Don't ask me why it's complex, it just is. Is it worthwhile? Probably not. You can just move that file. Why waste lots of money on this? And we're the type of people that come and tell you because we don't want our clients be upset later saying, what the hell? But also coming from finance industry in Australia, we had Royal Commission where the whole industry got revamped. And I went through that. So for me, best interest of the client is the most important. So what my staff does as well is we sit there and go, okay, is it really one of your priorities? Is it going to give you as much utility and pain relief for the money you're going to pay? If no, then what the hell? Or if you want to do this thing, we can suggest a better process to do it because we've seen it, how it's done in other companies. So we will share that knowledge with you.
I love it. That's awesome. I mean, that's why having an expert is so, to me, it matters a lot. Like you should be finding the experts around what you do in your niche, in your specific area. So fantastic. I love it. For all the
Yeah.
champions
I
out,
don't like the generalists. You can't be good at something if you're trying to be good at everything.
couldn't agree more. I could not agree more with that. So for all the construction champions out there listening, if they wanted to follow you, connect with you, learn more about what you do, where's the best places for them to do that?
Would be at our website, kickconsulting.com.au. You will have the link in your
Yep,
notes
it'll
as
be in the
well.
show notes.
And beautiful. On our website, you can see everything we do, read all of our testimonials. You can follow us on LinkedIn as well, Kick Consulting Group. That's where we are. And I'm generally the person that showcases there quite often as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to be on the show today.
Thanks.
All right, construction champions, another episode in the bag where I want to know, are you the Superman or are you about to be in financial distress? And the worst in between is, do you not know if you can answer that question? Because that's where too many people are, is they don't know. They feel like they might be the Superman, or they feel like they might be on the verge of financial distress, but they don't have no key indicators. They don't even have a way to be able to check the temperature on that. That's what today's episode was about, is about having ways to understand what's going on in your business so you can be that Superman. And that support system that you have set up is empowered to be able to do what they do, and you know what is happening. It's that easy. Like, this isn't rocket science. A lot of times we try to make it into that. You can come out with something and it can be so complex, and that's never going to work. It's as simple as, can you answer that question? Which probably about 70% of business owners can't. And if you can't, you have to figure out a way to be able to answer that. Because if you don't know, like Elena said, you're driving down the road with no headlights on. And in Australia, that means you might run into a 6-foot tall kangaroo that might want to fight you. It's not like a deer here where you're going to hit it and keep on driving. Like, you might be in a fist fight there. You never know. That's how it is with your business. So get them headlights turned on. Create a way where you can be Superman, you can be that champion, and that your team has the support they need, and you can support them because you know what's going on in your damn business. Construction champions, make sure you go out and you check out all of our great sponsors. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.
Introducing BuilderComms, your all-in-one construction communication software. Say goodbye to communication mishaps that cause frustration among builders, contractors, and clients. The BuilderComms platform unifies communications, making it easy for you to chat, share updates, and collaborate effectively in one place. Experience the transformation in construction project management with BuilderComms. Visit us at buildercoms.com to learn more and start streamlining your projects today.